Happy Friday, everybody. So some of you will know, and apologies to my friends back in the UK, because I feel slightly disloyal to you in this moment, because I'm doing this live stream at a time when I know that you're going to be asleep in bed, because I'm over the other side of the pond at the moment. I'm actually in LA. It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon here. And I traveled over last week for the Conscious Life Expo in LA. But anyway, this video is going to be on my page and we'll be sharing replays of it. So hello to everybody watching this. My name is Ariella Indigo. I am what's called an initiator. So I help people to go through the various stages in their ascension journey to initiate them so they can get to like the next stages for them in their personal evolutionary paths. So I'm an ascension guide. I'm also an alchemist. I am a conduit and a channel for high frequency energy. So I do activations and clearings with people as well. Hi there, Jeanette. Lovely to see you here. So what are we talking about today? So as promised, I'm going to be sharing with you all about stage 4 in the ascension journey. So I'm going to talk more about this, but I work on the basis that there are 7 stages. Yeah, they are like non-linear, multi-dimensional stages, but like, and they go in cycles, but there are 7 distinct phases. And I'm going to talk a bit more about this. And today we're going to be talking about stage 4, which is a very, very important stage indeed. It's all about rites of passage. And it's truly how you leave like your old reality behind so that you can ascend, if you like, and embody your higher divinity, which comes through your soul blueprint, and get to the other side of the bridge. I call this stage the 4-5 bridge, because you have to walk across the bridge in order to get to stage 5, which is where you actually embody more of your high divinity. So more on that. Hello to everybody who's coming in. Thank you so much for joining me live. So my name is Ariella, and Ariella Indigo, and I'm an ascension guide, an initiator, and an alchemist. And happy March, happy 1st of March, by the way. I'm excited to see what happens for us in this month of March, because it's actually a month 3 in a year 3. So 2019 is a universal year 3 vibration for us all, which is very much about soul expansion. You know, so I'm expecting to see like, you know, some big changes in the collective playing out in our global stage this year. It's also very much about creative expression. So more and more of us are going to be embodying our voice this year. And March is a 3 month. So we have got double the vibration. So that's going to be very exciting. I'm also very excited to see what happens this month when this huge Stargate opens. So for those of you that joined me in my multidimensional love summit, which was just a few weeks ago, you will have heard us sharing about this incredible Stargate, which is due to open up in March at some point. And this Stargate, it's like, for those of you who are familiar with the rays of light, with the teachings of the rays of light, the 7 rays of light, and then we've got 5 more and now we've got 12, right? Because there were always 12, but when we had the fall in consciousness, we weren't able to access the other 5. So this is like another ray, if you like, which is opening up, and it's a very multi-dimensional ray. It's really going to help, and this is why I'm so excited, because it's really going to help us starseeds, us multi-dimensionals who sometimes struggle with the density of the earth plane. So, you know, super sensitivity and being very, very empathic. So like my intel is that this Stargate is going to help to make us more resilient, the starseeds energetically, to become more resilient. So, you know, I'm sure we're all very pleased to hear that from the perspective of ascension symptoms. So it's going to help us with that. Also, and this is super cool, I wonder whether any of you will notice any shifts here. We need to track this. Apparently, it's going to be opening up new portals so that we're going to be able to access new abilities. So things like being bilocational, things like, you know, actually traveling to other dimensions and being able to, like, you know, really access these multidimensional parts of us. So it's going to come with new abilities. This is going to bleed in over time, but it's happening this month in March. So like just energetically, we can really, really look forward to an incredible month in March for us all. And we're also coming into Mercury retrograde as well, which always gives us more insights as we become, you know, like the messengers ourselves here on the earth plane. So definitely is the ground for that. And yeah, let's see what unfolds for us in March. Okay, so back to today's teaching, and hello to everybody who has just joined. Again, just to introduce myself, my name is Ariella Indigo. So I'm an initiator. I help people to fast track and initiate people in their ascension journeys. I'm also an alchemist, a channel, a conduit of high frequency energies which come through from my monad, and we're going to talk more about the monad in today's training to help activate people's DNA and to help bring beautiful healings through. So let's talk about this stage 4 in the 7 stages of the ascension path. So first of all, what are the 7 stages? Let me briefly talk about those. So really in stages 1, 2, and 3, and this starts for all of us, you know, as soon as we're born, whether we consciously realize it or not, we are all going through the ascension process. So stages 1, 2, and 3 are really about mastering initially the physical plane. So it's like physical mastery, you know, as we're sort of learning how to use our bodies, learning how to treat our bodies well, learning how to respect our bodies, you know, and learning to be in the physical plane. That's the first initiation. The second and third initiation are more about the mental realms and the emotional realms. So again, we're being asked to master to a certain degree the emotional realms and the mental realms. So that can, you know, that can bring up challenges for all of us. Now, I'm sort of fast tracking this because I want to talk about stage 4 today, but importantly, what happens at the end of stage 3, which is the mental initiations, because each one of these stages are initiations. And once you have embodied stage 3 of the ascension process, which is all about mastering the mental realms, that's when you actually go through what's called the soul merge process. And I'm sure most of you will be familiar with that term. So it's when you actually embody your soul and you embody your soul consciousness, and you are like a walking soul on the earth plane. So that's a huge stage in the ascension process. And from a sort of planetary perspective, this is really the stage that we're going into now. So as we know, more and more of us are waking up. We actually know that we have got, many of us at least know that we have at least got souls now, that we're not just, you know, physical bodies in this physical world. So in order to go through the soul merge process, you have to know that you've got a soul, you know, and the more and more of us light workers and star seeds that are waking up on this planet, the more that we're just going through that like tipping point now, which is helping other people to wake up, to realize that they are, you know, that they are soul, they are spirit, they are in fact God's, you know, God in a body. So after you go through stage 3, which is quite the initiation, you know, for me, it was a very supernatural time. It's not always. For me, it was a very intense time. There was a health crisis that happened to me. I had visitations from, you know, different beings, right, from like outside of our dimensions and outside of our galaxy. And I received many messages and downloads. But what I really want to talk about is stage 4, because like this is the most important stage, I believe, at the moment, where many of the light workers are on the planet, many of the star seeds are. And in fact, what I'm seeing is people are either getting delayed or sometimes stuck, or they're turning back on this stage. So let's actually talk a little bit about this. So what stage 4 is, and I call it the 4-5 bridge, because it is indeed this bridge that you're crossing to like higher consciousness, to embody, you know, your higher divinity. And it's a rite of passage. I mean, it's very clearly a rite of passage. It's often marked by initially by a crisis point, or a big turning point in your life. So it could be that your relationship breaks up, you know, like divorces, you know, that is a very transformational time for us. So you might create a divorce, you know, if that's not, if the relationship is not in alignment with your highest good, at least. Or it could be you might get sacked from your job, or you might go bankrupt. You know, there is normally, or it might be a health crisis. There is normally like a big awakening moment happens in your reality. So for me, and I will share mine with you, mine was pretty intense. It was pretty out there. Many of you will know my story. I was in corporate for 16 years, and I'd been suppressing like all of this spiritual stuff for a long time. And then when I was going through the soul merge process, I went through this big health crisis. But when I was actually at stage 4, and I was being, because it's like a calling, you're called up really by the universe. Like there is a call to adventure, you know, and it's about leaving like your old world behind. So mine was that I woke up one morning and there were 2 6-foot-tall star beings stood in my bedroom. Right? That was pretty like dismantling, as you can imagine, in terms of like the reality that I perceived before. And it was like I was creating chaos at work as well with my boss. In fact, there was a situation whereby, you know, it could have gone to court. Actually, she really crossed some boundaries, some big boundaries with me. And it was like my contract at work suddenly came to, I could see very clearly it was coming to an end. And I really didn't want to keep on going in corporate. I absolutely knew at that point that I was just in my corporate career because it was about the money, you know, and I was clinging on to it because, like many of us, I had fears about money. I had fears about my security and being in, you know, survival mode and being in lack and all of those things. So, you know, that was the chaos that I was creating for myself. So, you know, it was this call to adventure. I received many messages, many downloads. I had these huge clairvoyant visions. I saw aspects of myself in the future, like living out my higher mission. And I was really given that choice. Like, are you going to honor what you're creating in your environment? Like, or are you going to do what you did in the past, which is dismiss these types of experiences and prefer to like take mental health labels, for example, instead, right? Or are you actually going to like listen, look, and face your fears? Because I was very frightened about, you know, these different types of beings appearing in my bedroom or in my reality wherever I was, you know, and I'd been really suppressing it for a long time because I had a lot of fear. So that's another hallmark of the stage 4-5 bridge. You are asked to face your fears. You know, and the universe is very kind to you, you know, like you get sent helpers. So I'm absolutely a firm believer that the stage 4-5 bridge, you are not meant to do this journey on your own. It's not that you're not capable. It's not that you're not powerful enough. It's just that if we were meant to do this on our own, we would never have agreed to have this incarnation and split from source in the first place. Like we are actually supposed to be supporting each other and collaborating. So you will normally manifest a guide or a mentor at this stage. So it's really like, you know, in Matrix terms, the film, The Matrix, it's when Neo swallowed the red pill, right? And he decided to see how far the rabbit hole went. And that was very much where I was at when I was confronted with these 2 6-foot-tall star beings, and I could have dismissed it, and I could have gone to get another boring job in another area of the corporate arena and been completely unsatisfied. Or I could have said, you know what, let's do this. And yeah, okay, I'm just going to trust my intuition, follow my intuition, you know, and go on the necessary transition when I feel like, I mean, and you do at the stage 4, you feel like you're about to jump off of a cliff and you cannot see the bottom and you don't know if you're going to survive, you know, but it is that whole initiation around you're asked to step off that bridge, but it's not that cliff, but you realize it's not a cliff, it's a pavement, you know, like the stepping stones appear the divine, your soul, has your back. You are never alone. You're never at risk. But your human aspect is absolutely like going crazy, screaming out with fear. Your ego, like, you know, when you say yes to that call to adventure, you know, whatever that is for you, yeah, to transition out of your old world and to go on a journey to align with your true purpose, which is what the 4-5 bridge is all about. You know, it truly is like, it's a leap of faith, you know, and you're so supported, but you're not going to feel that way. So let's talk about some of the other aspects which are common to us all, really, with this stretch of the ascension journey. So you're always asked to leave your old identities behind. So this is the mask removal stage, you know, and you might have been removing masks and doing your inner work, and you will have had to have done that to even have got to stage 4. I mean, to go through the soul merge process, you'd have gone through many initiations and done a lot of work on yourself to even get there. But at stage 4 till 5, this is when things get really intense. Like, the rest has been preparing you. You know, the masks that you're asked to remove as you're crossing the bridge, the 4-5 bridge, are huge. So for me, I was hiding behind a corporate mask. You know, I had a different name back then. You know, I'm suddenly asked to, like, you know, I've created in my reality a vehicle where I'm now changing my name to Ariella Indigo, because I have realized, and the universe is confronting me with lots and lots of material and confirmation about being an indigo, a starseed. I had no idea about that myself before. And I received this channel name, Ariella Indigo, you know, and then I realized that I was a hybrid, you know, part human, part elemental, part alien. You know, this is quite rearranging, as you know. Many of you know this, right? Because you've gone through similar, the stories are different, but it's similar threads, right? So I'm really asked to remove this corporate mask and embody Ariella Indigo, which is another identity and probably will get transcended in the future, but it's part of the journey, right? So you can't just go from like A to Z. You have to go through the different stages. So, you know, I was asked to come out of the multidimensional closet, right? You know, I was asked to, like, really, you know, to share openly who I was and what my discoveries were, what my revelations were with my community back then. So, you know, I had a lot of friends that were in the corporate world. People were not into this spiritual stuff at all. You know, my family weren't into it. I was the only one that was going through this initiation. And that's what I was going to say to you earlier, because the divine is always, the universe is always very kind, because it connected me with an incredible support to go through this stage with me. And for me, it's my beloved twin flame, Ethan. So we'd got together for about a year before all of this started happening. It was actually our relationship itself that catalyzed, that accelerated, you know, our sacred union accelerated our journey so that I could even get to this point. But anyway, yeah, I came out openly on Facebook to all of my corporate friends. I mean, I just thought, okay, well, this can be a painful, lengthy exercise, or I can just get this done in one go. So I literally, I mean, live stream wasn't really a thing back then. This is like nearly 5 years ago. But I literally wrote a post and I said, my name is now Ariella Indigo. I'm a starseed and I'm leaving my corporate career. I'm going off traveling around Central America. And, you know, I'm going to be part of the new breed of humans that is responsible for ushering in the new era, you know, the age of Aquarius. Well, you can imagine they thought I had gone crazy. And this is also a really good sign, by the way, because what I say to all of my clients is, pretty much, like, if you're not at the stage where people in your reality are thinking that you have gone mental, like seriously crazy, because you're coming up with the most, like, you know, to them, like, incredible things, then you're not stretching far enough. Like, you're not on the bridge, because, you know, that is a massive hallmark of being on the bridge. It's when people in your reality, you've already programmed them at soul level to give you the reflection that actually, like, this is, you know, this is crazy. You've gone too far. You know, you need to, like, turn back, go back to safety. right? So it's actually a really, really good sign when people in your reality think that you've gone nuts, you know. Obviously there's limits to that, right? But you get my point, I hope. So you're asked to remove these identities, these masks that you've previously been wearing, whatever that is for you. You know, for some people, it's going to be different types of masks. It's going to be maybe like masks that you've been wearing, masking sexual shame. So, you know, people coming out as being like gay, bisexual, all of these things, that's like a massive part of like embracing your true essence. That can also happen as you're crossing the bridge. Whatever it is that you've been holding on to that you secretly don't want other people to know about you, that's what is going to be asked, you know, for you to reveal as you're walking across the bridge. That's a big thing. Normally as well, you get a complete, like your friendships, your community, your tribe completely like shift. So you can lose a lot of friendships actually when you're going through when you're walking across the 4-5 bridge. Not all of them, and people get quite scared of this, and I understand that. And, you know, particularly around like their relationships and also their family, you know, some people don't want to go on the initiation because they fear losing something, right? Losing the love of somebody, losing the admiration of somebody, losing the acceptance of somebody. What I'd like to tell you is you never lose anything. You know, you never lose anything. You only ever gain. Temporarily, there is a transition, you know, and to your human aspect, you might feel as if you've lost something, but that never truly happens, you know, because like for me, for example, you know, I did lose my best friend at the time. Myself and my dad, we didn't speak for like 18 months. Myself and my brother didn't speak for even longer, about 2 years. You know, there was a temporary rearrangement and transition. And I had these tests, you know, people were like, yeah, I mean, my dad thought I was pretty crazy, like leaving my 16-year career in corporate, very well paid 6-figure career, practically giving away the whole contents of my 2-bedroom luxury London flat. And then, like many of you know this, I lived in a caravan, right, for the next 2.5 years, you know, which is a trailer to my American friends, you know, in Glastonbury, holding space for my high emissions come online, thousands of pounds in debt. You know, my physical reality did not reflect these incredible insights and activations that I knew that I was receiving, and these incredible spiritual experiences that I was having as I was like embodying more and more of my soul essence. You know, nobody could see that. So I had to really hold space and like really trust, you know, and this is something else you are asked to do as you're crossing the bridge. You have to trust your intuition. You know, like you have to trust your soul, your spirit, all the way to the end, you know, and you will be asked to do things that quite frankly scare the hell out of you from a human perspective. But like, you just know that you need to be there. Like your soul is calling you forwards. So, you know, there will be things like, you know, for me, it got to the point when I was crossing the bridge on the 4-5 journey where after 2.5 years of like, and what I want to say to you here just very quickly is, you know, it sounds like it's going to be hell. And I would give yourself 2 to 3 years when you're crossing the bridge, right? Give yourself 2 to 3 years. It took me about 2.5 years, and I was going at it at pace. You know, I mean, I was just trusting and following and prepared, completely committed to do whatever it took. You know, and that's not the case for everybody. So give yourself like 2 to 3 years at least, you know. But what happened to me is that there was like a massive, because of my soul blueprint, and this is a key point, like your rite of passage will be dependent on how you are uniquely coded at soul level. There are certain initiations that you will create, which are perfectly created by you, for you, because you're here to unlock the hidden gold, you know, that sits beneath this challenge, this initiation. So for me, one of mine, because there were many, but one of mine was very much about money. You know, I had been clinging on to that corporate career, that six-figure career for a long time, you know, in that illusion of it's my boss that is responsible for my abundance, right? Which is just obviously not the case. Your abundance comes naturally from your soul, through your soul blueprint. You know, so I had many, many challenges that I created for myself on the way around money and transcending that illusion of lack and scarcity. That's why I lived for 2.5 years in my caravan while I was doing that. You know, but the gifts that you get along the way, and there are like pockets of them, you know, there are different gifts that start coming in. As soon as you take that like that step, you know, that action step, as soon as you take the initiative to start walking across the bridge, you will get help, like divine intervention, special gifts which are downloaded to you, which you can access at certain points of your journey. You know, many of those will be upskilling you, gifts which upskill you for what your higher mission truly is in the world. So like for me, I connected with this incredible Hebrew soul blueprint system, which, you know, I'm now using in my business, which helps people to understand, you know, how they're uniquely coded, what their creator initiations are going to be, what their purpose is in the world, their unique gifts and talents. And it was like, oh my God, this system was just, it was just like so satisfying to me, you know, when I discovered it. And it was just such a gift. I absolutely fell in love with it. So you will get gifts as well. It's not all hardship. It's actually a very freeing feeling when you're crossing the bridge. You know, it's like you're liberating yourself with every step that you take forwards. You know, the sense of freedom and like the creativity that starts pouring in from your soul, because remember, you've already merged with your soul at this point, is absolutely huge. The healing that comes through, you know, as you're crossing the bridge is incredible. So but you have to keep going. Like, you have to keep on going through these tests. So money is often, I've spoken about this before, money is often one of the biggest initiations for all of us, because pretty much for everybody, your finances are going to go through a period of flux when you're crossing the bridge to higher consciousness. You know, you will go through a transition as you are transitioning to really activate your divine gifts and to play a bigger game in the world, because that's what happens when you cross the other side of the bridge at stage 5. You know, you get to play a bigger game in the world. You get to serve more people. You know, you get to play even a global game in the world, you know, where you can really start creating huge impact in people's life. But you have to cross the bridge first of all. So like, money initiations are a big thing. What I'd also share with you at this point is that what is also the case for all of us, and it's good to have the heads up on this, just as you are feeling as if you're nearly there, like you've gone through your rite of passage, and it's like, well, surely I've gone through every test now, you know, surely I've like passed the test, I've got the gifts, I'm feeling ready to serve, I'm feeling ready to fly. It's then that you need to really, really be on your spiritual like game. You know, like, you've really got to dig into your spiritual willpower, because what is normally the case is that you create one final test. You know, it's one final test, and it's a big test, you know, and it's designed again by you to really, and it's normally, it will bring up the thing that scares you the most, you know, and again, everything has been preparing you for this. But at that point, you are so far away from home. Like, you know, that's what I used to say to myself. I felt a bit like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, you know, like I was a long way from Kansas when I was crossing the bridge. You know, I was a long, long way from home, but you get this final test, and it's then that you just got to be in your spiritual willpower. And sometimes, and don't let this put you off, I'm just sharing this as information, sometimes you have to go through this part alone, and it can be like a dark night of the soul experience, you know, but it's you've had support up until that point, and your soul and your you know, your incredible multidimensional team, your Ascension team have been preparing you for this moment. And it can look like you're doomed. You know, it can look like it's the end of the road. I can't go any further. And for me, I was like 2 weeks off of going bankrupt. You know, I was thousands of pounds in debt, couldn't afford to keep even a caravan over my head anymore, you know, and it was like I had my last initiation. And well, you know my story, many of you do. I created somebody to give me an offer, and it was like £8,000, this offer, about $10,500, to actually jump into a program to help get my spiritually based business off the ground. And at that point, I have to say, I was like anti-business, I was anti-support. I'd been in corporate for a long time. I didn't want to go into anything to do with business, felt very low vibrational to me. I was actually spiritually bypassing. You know, I was going through this incredible like soul merge spiritual experience where I was embodying so much of my spirit that it was actually very difficult for me to ground in 3D, you know, and to appreciate the 3D structures. So like my final test, part of it involved me saying yes to jump into this program, which was a very physical 3D program, but I just knew my soul was absolutely calling me to be there. And all I had on my third and last credit card was a couple of grand left. Like it was enough for, you know, 1 or 2 months in this program. But after that, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. So it was like another leap of faith. And well, again, a lot of you will know my story. That was the catalyst, you know, going back into the physical, you know, trusting my soul, putting down that money, you know, stepping forwards. That was the catalyst that actually did 2 things. Firstly, it unlocked my higher abundance, you know, that comes through my soul blueprint, because 4 months later, I'd earned £30,000, about $42,000, and actually was able to move out of my caravan into a house. Some of you might be listening to that, and sometimes I get emails from people saying, well, you know, it's not about money, and that's not, and you know what, I mean, money really is not my number one objective either. But I tell you what, unless you've had the experience of living in a caravan for 2.5 years and really understanding what being in survival does to your health, does to your relationship, does to limit the way that you can actually show up and serve in the world, you start then to appreciate the physical structures that we need on this earth in order to create impact, and in order to be happy, and in order to be free. So like that was one of my initiations. Also, what it did when I said yes to this program, it wasn't just a physical like activation that I received of my higher abundance. It was also a spiritual activation, because it was only through saying yes and going through the first couple of months in this program, it then unlocked. And I need to talk to you about the monadic integration process, which I'll do in a moment. But basically what happened is I'd gone through the soul merge process. I then started going through the monadic merge process, which it happens at stage 5, when you actually merge back in with your spiritual lineage. There are many names for this. Oversoul is one of them. Monad is another. I am presence is another one. So my consciousness actually started reintegrating into a collective. Yeah, so I now like a collective streams through me. You know, this is why I can do the energetic activations that I can do, and I can do the healings that I do. You know, your monad, your oversoul is made up of many, many different souls, many different energies. And like you can then not only tap into your own soul gifts, but you can also tap into this vaster field of consciousness, which contains many other beings' soul gifts, and they can work through you, because you're in a collective now, to like bring them down into the earth plane. Yeah, so it was actually through saying yes to this program and jumping into that I started going through. I'd already gone through the monadic merge process at that point, to be fair, but I hadn't accessed the gifts. I hadn't accessed the gifts, the abilities to be able to do what I do today, which is to activate people's soul blueprints and help clear away the blocks that are standing in their way. That only happened as a result of me saying yes to this final test, this program, trusting in it, knowing at that point that like something, you know, that that something had to happen at that point. You know, something had to come in because it was the end of the road for me. But I was prepared to go to the end of the road and probably a bit beyond. Like, your commitment needs to be that fierce, you know, for you to embody your soul blueprint, you know, your higher divinity. You've got to be prepared to go all the way to the end. So, like, as you can see, because of that deep journey that I have gone through, I have embodied the experience of the journey. I know the journey very, very well. And today I get to support beautiful souls like you guys who are tuning in, watching this live stream now, to go through your version of the rites of passage on that 4-5 bridge, because the other side of that is the monadic merger. You know, and everything takes off from there. Like, your higher abundance kicks in, you get to play a bigger game in the world, you get a lot of healing that comes through, you get a new tribe that connects with you, you know, a new community, and you really get to play a bigger game in the world and to really, really create an impact, you know, not just talk about it, but to actually like be in it and create an impact in the world. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about in terms of the 4-5 bridge. Now, what I want to share with you, and I've put the link at the top of this post, and then I'm going to take some questions. I've opened mine, and my team's diaries are open for you for a short period of time to help you to get some breakthroughs, to help you to get some breakthroughs around like activating and embodying your soul blueprints. Okay, so there's a link that I've put at the top of this live stream that you need to click on in order to book the calls. What I'm doing is a couple of things that I want to tell you. First of all, the first is that I do have a retreat that's coming up this year. It's in June, it's in the UK. It's going to be incredible in terms of helping people to go through these types of rites of passage, and I can support you and bring through activations and help you to know where you are in your journey and help you to activate your soul blueprint. Okay, so on these calls, we're going to be talking to you, seeing where you are in your journey, making recommendations that support you to actually like take the next steps in your journey. If we feel that it's a good fit, you know, if you're suitable for the retreat, then we will talk to you about the retreat. If it's not suitable, if it's not suitable for you or for us, then there's other recommendations that we can give you. So to book a call, you need to click on that link, and I have a very, very special incentive, if you like, gifted bonus that's available to you. If you book a call with us, just book a call with us before Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, you're actually going to get like three incredible bonuses. But you have to book a call. You don't need to actually have the call, like we don't need to have spoken by Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific, but you need to have booked a call. Okay, so these are the 3 bonuses that you get. The first is you get entrance into a 1-hour group call so that I can actually hot seat people and give you specific readings, based on your soul blueprint, to really help like activate and to give you the next steps of your journey. That's bonus number 1. Bonus number 2 is that one of you is going to receive a private 30-minute soul blueprint reading with me. One of you is going to win that. Okay, so I'm going to put your names in my crystal singing bowl, and I'm going to choose one name, and then I will contact you to book in that call. The third bonus is that you will receive a 50-minute presentation that I did, a recorded video that I did last year, which is all about helping to give you some guidance on how to connect with your mission. It's very, very powerful. So those are the 3 bonuses. Now, in order to book a call with us, we are asking for a refundable application fee of £77. The reason that we're asking for that is because of the volumes of calls that we receive, but also like in the past, we have received some no-shows, which isn't very respecting of our time. You know, we're busy people, we want to serve and we want to make ourselves available to you, but it doesn't help us to find the people that we are here to serve. If people are booking out time in our diary, then they don't show up. So it's a refundable £77, which is refunded to you, and all you need to do is show up to the call, and then we will give you access to these incredible bonuses. So that's what I wanted to share with you. So I'm going to look now to see if there are any questions. If you have any questions about anything that I have shared today, then please let me know. I'm just checking out the comments now. Carol Grimmett, you have been on the edge of the cliff too for 1 to 2 years. So my question to you, Carol, is have you jumped off the edge yet? Are you on the edge, or have you jumped off? Are you now crossing the bridge? Because at some point, all of us are asked to jump. So at this point, 1 foot is over, the other is 3/4 there. It's so close. So yeah, I mean, I get it. This is designed to bring up your stuff. It can be very confronting, but it's really, you can't go around this journey. It is something that you've got to go through. Kim Belladini, you've just been called insane by your boyfriend the other day. Perfect, honey. You're on track. Love it. Carol, the blueprint system is awesome. It blew you away. Yes, thank you so much. It's an incredible system. If you're interested in discovering your soul blueprint, you can go to my website, ariellaindigo.com, and check it out on there. Kim, yeah, put your big girl panties on. Absolutely. That's what's needed when we're crossing the bridge. We've all got to put our big girl panties on. Absolutely. So Carol's also saying that you noticed when you did the blueprint under your birth name and then your married name, the soul destiny number was the same, which is awesome. Yeah. Is this generally the case for all? No, it's not generally the case for all. So what that says to me, because of course your names are no coincidence, and the soul blueprint system that I use, just for those of you that don't know, is based on the sonics of your name. And it's like decoded into Hebrew phonetic sounds. And it shows the codes, the 5-letter codes that are encoded into your DNA. So no, like your name is no coincidence. So if your soul destiny coding is the same for both your birth name and your current name now, it means that your soul is really, really wanting you to embody that code or codes, whatever it is that's in your soul destiny. Those are very, very important numbers to you at soul level. You're bringing in more of the same to get you super focused in completing the initiations to be able to embody at the higher frequency. So what is likely to happen when you've got 2 of the same codes like that is it's kind of like double the intensity. You've probably noticed that when you're reading it through in my ebook. You can put the numbers if you like, if you remember what they are in the comments, and I'll check it out. But you may well be creating more challenges for yourself around really confronting those challenges and transmuting them into your greatest strength. But also the opposite will be true. You will be able to access the abilities will be more intense for you, stronger. The talents, the gifts can be amazing for you. So that's going to be very interesting for you. So let me know if you've got any comments, if you've got any questions. I'm here to support you on your journey. So Judith says, jumping off the cliff, I think I'm trying to negotiate security financially, so it's not so scary. Yes, because it's not clear to me what the leap is really. Yeah, okay, I get that. So like maybe you don't feel from a human perspective that you've had a clear call to adventure. This is so you're like, well, what's the point, maybe, right, in me putting myself in financial insecurity when I don't know, when I don't know what the journey is, or I don't know what I'm going to do. The first thing that I'll say to you here is don't wait to jump, right? Don't wait to have all the pieces figured out. None of us know what it is that we're here to do. Like the universe, it doesn't matter how many psychics you go to, like how many books you read, whatever it is, how many meditations you do, you will actually, at stage 4, before you've crossed that bridge, you will create like a veil for yourself to not be able to see clearly, you know, who you're here to truly be in the world, because like otherwise that that just wouldn't be the game, right? You know, that would be too easy. You know, you have to be prepared to, you know, to let go of what you had before. So Carol, I mean, I would just ask you maybe to look within and just like have an honesty conversation with yourself around, you know, what are the things and even the identities that you can sometimes like cling on to almost. You know, it can even just be stuff like, you know, being a mum. You know, being a mum's awesome, but it's not all of who you are. You know, and some people can hide behind, you know, just whatever identity, whether it's being a mum, whether it's, you know, being in corporate, whether it's being a girlfriend, you know, all of these sort of labels, you know. So, you know, that's definitely an area to look at. What identities are you holding on to? Another big area are secrets. You know, people with secrets. There was a great saying when I went into recovery when I was younger, you know, typical indigo, massively oversensitive, and I drank for many years as a way of grounding and really, you know, being in this world. A great saying that I got from recovery is, you are as sick as your secrets. You know, you're as sick as your secrets. And, you know, it's so true. So, you know, I don't know whether there's anything for anybody who's watching this around things that you just would rather not see the light of day. You know, those are big initiations that you've created for yourself. And quite often, quite frankly, these secrets that feel massive to us, to everybody else, it's just like, well, what's the big deal? You know, but to us, they can feel huge. So like Judith, I would say to you to go inside, like, what are you holding on to? What are your blocks? What are your fears? Like, what are the things that come up for you that can sabotage you from really like taking the leap of faith and really committing to your path? I'd also love to support you with helping you to get a breakthrough. So perhaps you want to consider booking a call with us so that we can help you on your journey. Okay, so yeah, Carol, so you've got 12-3, you're a master teacher, absolutely. So you've got that in your birth name and in your current name. So that 12-3 vibration is very, very important for you. Double 12-3 soul destiny, my goodness, you're going to be a busy, busy woman. You probably feel like you never have enough time, right? 12-3s, because these are all creation codes, right? You know, this is really how you're creating your reality. 12-3s, what your soul is wanting to do, and that's actually perfect for what I spoke about at the start of this video, this being a 3-year for us all, and March being a 3-month, being about soul expansion. Well, the 12-3 is very much about expansion. The soul is wanting you to expand, and evolve as much as you possibly can in this lifetime. So it can create quite an intense experience for us. You know, the challenges, the initiations, you know, the stuff that you're asked to attend to can really come in like thick and fast when you're a 12-3 in soul destiny. It can feel like you're sort of rushing around. There can be quite a lot of stress, you know, not enough time. You know, I've got to attend to this, I've got to attend to that, lots to do, you know, and it's because your soul is really wanting you to expand as much as you possibly can in this lifetime. And ordinarily, when you have a 12-3, I don't necessarily subscribe completely to this mindset. But I'll share with you, like, you know, what some people say, at least about the 12-3, is that your soul is near to the end of the reincarnation cycle. So that's why in this lifetime, you're getting such opportunity to expand and grow. I happen personally to believe that you can liberate yourself from the reincarnation cycle anytime you choose, but that is another topic for another day. Kim asks, how do you know what your soul blueprint number is? You can go to my website, ariellaindigo.com, and there's a section there, work with me. If you scroll down, it will show you how you can access that. So that is on my website. Okay, so I think we are there. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for everybody who has attended this live. Please do click on that link if you'd like to book a call with myself or my team members. I have my beloved Ethan Lukelta, my twin flame, who's also taking calls and supporting you. I also have the incredible Monty Cox, who is a deep soul brother of mine, who's also here available to you to help get you some breakthrough. So the three of us are taking calls. We've opened up our diaries for a short time only. There are these incredible bonuses that I shared with you that you can definitely access if you show up to the call. Like I said, if we feel that you're a good fit for the retreat, then we're going to talk to you about it. If not, there's going to be another recommendation that we can bring forwards to help you to get to those next stages on wherever you uniquely are in your journey. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, everybody. Have an incredible weekend, and I will be speaking to you multidimensionally one way or another very, very soon. Blessings and bye for now.